Welcome to another deep dive. This time, we're going to be looking into Ratan Tata.
Oh, wow.
Who passed away just recently, last year on October 9th, at the age of 86.
Quite a legacy.
Quite a legacy, and we're going to try to get into that today, mainly just using his Wikipedia page as a source.
Okay.
But we're going to try to pull out the most important and intriguing aspects of his life and career.
Sounds good.
So let's dive in. He was born in Bombay, now Mumbai, in 1937, December 28th.
Right.
To a Parsi Zoroastrian family.
Interesting. So that's a relatively small religious and ethnic group within India.
Okay.
They've had quite a disproportionate impact, though, on Indian society, commerce, and culture.
I wonder if that had an impact on him.
Could be.
So his father was Neval Tata,
okay,
who was adopted by Ratanji Tata, who was the son of Jamsetji Tata.
Wow. So we're talking about a family that is intrinsically linked to the very founding of the Tata Group.
And it goes even further than that. His mother, Sunu Tata, was also a niece of Jamsetji Tata.
Yeah. Okay. So on both sides of his lineage, we see this deep connection to the very roots of the Tata Group. It's in his blood, so to speak.
Yeah. So I guess you could say he was kind of destined to be a part of it in some way.
It seems that way.
But his early life wasn't, perfect, right?
Right.
His parents actually separated in 1948 when he was just 10, and then he was raised and adopted by his grandmother, Navajbai Tata.
Interesting. So that's a pretty pivotal moment in a young person's life, experiencing that kind of family separation.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you wonder how that might have shaped his worldview, his resilience, maybe even his future approach to leadership.
Yeah, and she was the widow of Ratanji Tata, so I guess you could say he was raised
by the matriarch.
By the matriarch.
As part of the family.
Yeah. He also has a younger brother, Jimmy Tata, and a half-brother, Noel Tata, from his father's second marriage.
Okay, so a blended family dynamic as well. It adds another layer of complexity to his early life, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure. As far as his education, he went to a few different schools, starting in Mumbai, Campion School, Cathedral, and John Conning School. And then he spent some time at Riverdale Country School in the starts.
That's interesting. So even his education reflects a blend of cultures and experiences.
Yeah. And eventually he earned a Bachelor of Architecture degree from Cornell University in 1962.
Cornell. That's a prestigious institution. It suggests a strong foundation in design and a technical mindset.
Yeah, and at Cornell, he was part of the Alpha Sigma Phi fraternity. He also, while he was at Cornell, met the architect A. Quincy Jones, who was a design critic at the time.
Okay. So not just academics, but real-world connections to prominent figures in the field of architecture. It sounds like he was building a solid network even during his university years.
Yeah. And then he, after he graduated, he actually worked for Jones's firm in Los Angeles for a bit.
So there he is in L.A., fresh out of Cornell, working for a renowned architect. You can almost imagine him envisioning a future in architecture.
You would think so, right?
Right.
But then he was called back to India by his grandmother.
The call of family and perhaps destiny. A turning point, no doubt.
Yeah. And then later on, he also attended the Harvard Business School Advanced Management Program in 1975.
Interesting. So he adds a strong business education to his architectural background. It speaks to a multifaceted individual with a wide range of skills and interests.
Yeah. It's interesting. He actually donated $50 million to Cornell, which made him their largest international donor ever.
Yeah.
And he gave another $50 million to Harvard Business School to establish Tata Hall, which supports executive education students.
That's remarkable. It really shows a deep commitment to giving back to those institutions that played a role in his development. But more than that, it suggests a belief in the power of education to shape future leaders.
Yeah. But he also, this is interesting, he mentioned that he felt humiliated by some of his classmates at Harvard. So
that's surprising to hear, especially given his stature and success. It makes you wonder about the dynamics at play and the potential impact of such an experience on someone who is driven to achieve great things.
Yeah. So in 1962, he joined the Tata Group, and he actually started on the shop floor of Tata Steel.
So starting from the ground up, not in some executive suite, but getting his hands dirty, understanding the core operations of the business. That's a pretty humble beginning for someone who would go on to lead the entire group.
Yeah, you don't really hear about that too often.
No, you don't. It speaks to a desire to learn from the bottom up, to understand the business from its very foundations.
Yeah. And then he moved into management at National Radio and Electronics, NLEQ.
Okay, so starting to climb the ladder, taking on more responsibility.
Yeah. And he actually was instrumental in turning that company around.
So early signs of his leadership capabilities, his ability to make a positive impact on a business.
Yeah. But it didn't last.
Oh.
What happened?
Well, during an economic slowdown, the company collapsed. I see. So a setback early on in his career. It highlights the unpredictable nature of business, the external factors that can impact even the most well-run companies.
Yeah.
It must be a valuable learning experience for him, though.
Yeah. And then in 1991, J.R.D. Tata, the legendary leader of the group, retired.
Right. A pivotal moment for the Tata Group.
Yeah. And he chose Ratan Tata to succeed him as chairman of Tata Sons.
Big shoes to fill.
Uh-huh.
J.R.D. Tata had led the group for decades, shaping its growth and reputation. It must have been an incredible honor, but also an immense challenge for Ratan Tata to step into that role.
Yeah. And it wasn't easy. When he first took over, he actually faced quite a bit of resistance from the heads of the various subsidiary companies.
That's understandable. They were likely accustomed to a certain level of autonomy under J.R.D. Tata's leadership. It's not uncommon for there to be pushback when a new leader takes over, especially one who is tasked with bringing about change.
Right. And to kind of
Consolidate his power.
consolidate power and create more unity in the group, he implemented some pretty major changes.
Like what kind of changes did he make?
Well, he instituted a retirement age for those company heads.
So bringing in fresh blood, creating opportunities for a new generation of leaders.
Exactly. And then she required subsidiaries to report directly to the group office.
Okay, so centralizing control, ensuring greater alignment across the different businesses.
And I think most importantly, he made them contribute a portion of their profits to build up the overall Tata Group brand.
That's a strategic move, shifting the focus from individual company success to strengthening the collective brand identity. It's about creating a unified force in the marketplace.
Exactly. He was also very focused on fostering innovation and delegating to younger talent. He streamlined overlapping operations, exited businesses that weren't related to the core vision, and he was really focused on globalization.
So a clear vision for the future, streamlining, modernizing, and expanding the group's global reach. It sounds like he was laying the groundwork for the Tata Group to become a true force on the world stage.
Yeah, and the results were incredible. From 1991 to 2012, during his time, the Tata Group revenue grew over 40 times, and profits grew more than 50 times.
That's an astonishing level of growth. Yeah. It speaks volumes about the effectiveness of his leadership and the success of his strategies.
Yeah. And, they went from most of their sales coming from commodities to branded sales. So
it's a fundamental shift in their business model, moving away from selling raw materials to selling products with recognizable brands with added value. It's a sign of a company maturing and becoming more sophisticated in its approach to the market.
Yeah. I think we should talk about the acquisitions.
Absolutely. Those are some game changers.
Yeah. So Tata Tea acquired Tetley, Tata Motors acquired Jaguar Land Rover.
Wow.
And Tata Steel acquired Chorus.
Those are some major acquisitions, and they're all in industries where brand recognition is paramount. It shows a strategic focus on building a global portfolio of strong, well-respected brands.
Yeah. And it led to more than 65% of their revenue coming from international operations.
So transforming the Tata Group from a largely India-centric business to a truly global powerhouse. That's a remarkable achievement.
Yeah. And then there was, of course, the Tata Nano.
The people's car. A bold and ambitious project.
It was his vision to develop an affordable car that the average Indian consumer could buy.
It was a revolutionary idea to make personal transportation accessible to millions who previously couldn't afford it. It's a testament to his social conscience, his desire to make a real difference in people's lives.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously there were some bumps in the road, but the idea itself
was groundbreaking.
Yeah. And Tata Motors actually more recently has also been pushing into electric vehicles.
Oh, interesting. So continuing to innovate in the automotive sector, adapting to the changing global landscape?
Yeah, with the Tiger EV. And he was even quoted as wanting to fast forward India's electric dream.
It shows a forward-thinking approach, recognizing the importance of sustainable transportation solutions. And it aligns with the growing global trend towards electric mobility.
Yeah. So as far as succession, he was chairman until 2012. Then Cyrus Mistry took over, but was removed in 2016.
Right. Bit of turmoil at the top. That's always interesting to dissect.
Yeah.
What happened there?
Yeah. So Ratan Tata actually stepped back in as the interim chairman, and then Natarajan Chandrasekaran was appointed in 2017.
I see. So a temporary return to steady the ship.
Yeah. And there was actually a legal battle surrounding Mystery's removal. The National Company Law Appellate Tribunal initially ordered his reinstatement,
Wow.
but that was stayed.
Okay.
And then the Supreme Court of India eventually overturned that order.
Sounds like a complex and contentious situation. It highlights the challenges and intricacies of leadership transitions at the highest levels of large organizations.
Yeah. So stepping away from his leadership of the Tata Group, he also was a big investor in startups.
Really? So not just a corporate titan, but also involved in the world of startups and innovation.
Yeah. He invested in over 40 startups through R&T Capital Advisors.
Wow, that's a significant number. It suggests a keen eye for spotting emerging trends and promising businesses. What kind of startups did he invest in?
Well, a few of the big names are Snapdeal, T-Box, CashCaro.com, Ola Cabs, and he even had a stake in Xiaomi.
Interesting. A mix of e-commerce, transportation, and even a global smartphone giant. It shows a diverse portfolio, reflecting a wide range of interests and a willingness to bet on disruptive technologies.
Yeah. And it wasn't just about the big names. He also invested in companies like Nestaway, which later acquired Zenify and DogSpot,
Right, interesting.
and Goodfellas, which is a companionship startup for senior citizens.
That's heartwarming. It suggests the desire to support businesses that are addressing social needs, improving people's lives in meaningful ways.
Yeah. And beyond business, his philanthropic work was huge. He was a huge supporter of education, medicine, and rural development.
It's a testament to his belief in using his wealth and influence to make a positive impact on society. It's a legacy that extends far beyond the boardroom.
Yeah. One example, he supported Sikh survivors of the 1984 anti-Sikh riots by providing them with Tata trucks to help them rebuild their lives.
It's a powerful, a tangible and practical way to help those who had lost so much. It's a direct intervention, providing the means for them to regain their livelihoods and stand on their own feet again.
Yeah. And he didn't just focus on India. He also supported the University of New South Wales Faculty of Engineering in their work on capacitive deionization to help improve water access.
So a global perspective on philanthropy, addressing critical issues like access to clean water, which is essential for human health and well-being.
Yeah. And then there's Tata Hall at UC San Diego.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Yeah. He helped establish that through a $70 million donation from the Tata Trusts, and it houses the Tata Institute for Genetics and Society, which focuses on genetic research.
That's impressive. A significant investment in cutting-edge research with the potential to benefit humanity on a grand scale.
Yeah. And he continued to support his alma maters. The Tata Education and Development Trust started a $28 million Tata Scholarship Fund at Cornell University for undergrad students from India.
Wow. Opening doors for a new generation of Indian students to receive a world-class education at Cornell. That's a legacy that will continue to impact lives for years to come.
Yeah. And Tata Group companies and Tata Charities also gave $50 million towards the construction of Tata Hall at Harvard Business School.
So, continued support for both of his alma maters, investing in the institutions that helped shape his own journey. It's a beautiful way to give back and ensure that future generations have access to the same opportunities.
And there's the Tata Innovation Center at Cornell Tech and the Tata Center for Technology and Design at IIT Bombay.
So supporting innovation and design, fostering creativity and entrepreneurship, it's about building a brighter future, isn't it?
Yeah. And there's a $750 million grant from the Tata Trusts to the Center for Neuroscience, Indian Institute of Science, to support research into Alzheimer's disease.
A significant commitment to tackling a major health challenge that affects millions worldwide. It shows a deep concern for human well-being and a desire to contribute to finding solutions for debilitating diseases.
And then there's the Tata Center for Technology Plus Design at MIT, which is focused on developing solutions for communities with limited resources.
So not just high-tech innovation, but innovation that is specifically geared towards improving the lives of those in underserved communities. It's about using technology to address real-world problems, to bridge the gap between the haves and have-nots.
Yeah, and Cornell recognizes him as their largest international donor ever. And a lot of his contributions were through the Tata Cornell Institute for Agriculture and Nutrition.
It's clear that he saw education, research, and innovation as key drivers of progress, both within India and globally. And he put his money where his mouth was, so to speak, making substantial investments in institutions that were aligned with his vision.
Yeah. And we should also talk about his response to the 2008 attack on the Taj Mahal Palace Hotel.
Ah, yes. A tragic event that shook Mumbai and the world.
Yeah. He personally oversaw the restoration of the hotel.
That's impressive.
And he also extended support to the victims' families, actually going to their homes to offer condolences.
Wow. a personal touch that speaks volumes about his empathy and compassion. It's going above and beyond, demonstrating genuine care for those who were affected by this horrific act of terrorism.
Yeah. He was even seen at the hotel for 3 days straight until security operations were over.
It's a powerful image, a leader standing with his people during a time of crisis, showing solidarity and strength.
He also was on the boards and councils of several organizations in India and internationally. The Prime Minister's Council on Trade and Industry, the National Manufacturing Competitiveness Council, the jury panel of the Pritzker Architecture Prize.
Interesting. So a wide range of involvements reflecting his diverse interests and his willingness to contribute his expertise to various fields.
Yeah, the Cornell University Board of Trustees.
So staying connected to his alma mater, giving back to the institution that played a role in his development.
Yeah, and he was Cornell Entrepreneur of the Year in 2013. And then there's Alcoa Inc., Mondelez International.
So board positions at major global corporations. It highlights his international stature, his recognition as a business leader on a global scale.
Yeah, and also the East-West Center, University of Southern California, Harvard Business School Board of Dean's Advisors.
It's quite a list. It's a testament to his reputation, his intellect, and his commitment to making a difference across a wide range of fields and institutions.
Yeah, the X Prize, Cornell University, Bocconi University, Hacklut & Co.
It's like a who's who of organizations and initiatives. It speaks to his wide-ranging interests and his desire to contribute to global progress.
Yeah. Kalari Capital and the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace.
It's clear that he wasn't just a successful businessman, but a thought leader, a philanthropist, a global citizen engaged in shaping a better world.
Yeah. So he was actually never married and never had any children.
Huh. Interesting. I hadn't realized that. It's always intriguing to learn about the personal lives of such prominent figures. Did he ever speak about that aspect of his life?
Yeah, he said he almost got married 4 times, but decided not to.
It makes you wonder about the factors at play, the choices we make in life, and the paths we choose to follow. It's a reminder that even the most accomplished individuals have their own personal stories, their own struggles and triumphs.
Yeah, and he was a devotee of Satya Sai Baba, who he met in 2009. He was involved with him in some philanthropic projects.
So a spiritual side to him as well is another dimension to his character, a reminder that even those who operate in the world of business and finance often find solace and guidance in their faith.
Yeah. So in 2024, he was admitted to Breach Candy Hospital in critical condition, and he passed away on October 9th at 86 due to age-related issues.
It's a reminder of our shared mortality, that even the most influential figures eventually succumb to the passage of time. But it's their legacy, the impact they have on the world that truly endures.
Yeah. And he had a state funeral with a military escort and a 21-gun salute.
A fitting tribute to a man who had contributed so much to his nation and the world. It speaks to the high esteem in which he was held, the recognition of his immense contributions to Indian society and beyond.
Yeah. And in his will, he donated 10,000 crore, and one of the people he named was Shantanu Naidu, his mentee.
That's beautiful. It's a continuation of his philanthropic spirit, his desire to support and nurture the next generation of leaders.
Yeah. And the list of honors and awards he received is pretty long. There's the Padma Bhushan, the Padma Vibhushan, which are 2 of the highest civilian awards in India.
Right.
The Maharashtra Bhushan, the Assam Vaibhav, honorary doctorates from all sorts of universities around the world.
It's a testament to the recognition he received for his achievements, both within India and globally. It speaks to the impact he had on various fields and his contributions to society as a whole.
Yeah. He even received the Honorary Knight Commander and Knight Grand Cross of the Order of the British Empire, the Grand Officer of the Order of Merit of the Italian Republic, the Honorary Citizen Award of Singapore, Japan's Grand Cordon of the Order of the Rising Sun.
It's a truly global recognition of his contributions.
Right.
It's a sign of the respect he garnered from different cultures and nations.
Yeah. And the Commander of the Legion of Honor of France.
Impressive.
And an Honorary Officer of the Order of Australia.
It's clear that his legacy extends far beyond the borders of India. He was a global citizen in the truest sense of the word.
Yeah. And even the Indian documentary series Mega Icons dedicated a whole episode to his life and legacy.
So his story has captured the imagination of people in India and beyond. It's a story of ambition, innovation, social responsibility, and ultimately the power of one individual to make a profound impact on the world.
Yeah, so in conclusion, I guess you could say that Ratan Tata started from humble beginnings to lead a global empire. He really emphasized innovation, expanding globally, and developing talent. And his philanthropic work is a lasting testament to his values and his belief in making a difference. He received so many accolades and honors, it's really hard to even list them all.
And he never stopped learning, growing, and pushing the boundaries. From architecture to business to philanthropy and beyond, he embraced a multifaceted approach to life. I think the most important thing is that despite all his success and accolades, he always maintained a strong sense of ethics and social responsibility.
Yeah. So I guess the final thought I would leave everyone with is this. Ratan Tata really combined extraordinary business success with a strong ethical compass and a deep commitment to social good. Looking at the challenges we face today, what aspects of his leadership style, his values, his way of approaching the world do you think are most relevant and inspiring for us as we navigate these complex times? What can we learn from his story, and how can we apply those lessons to make a positive impact in our own lives and in the world around us?
That's a great question to leave our listeners with.
I hope you enjoyed this deep dive.
I did.
Yeah.
Until next time.
Yeah, see you next time.